So then guys, I have survived the third week with my puppy Reggie here, and it has been another incredibly successful week, and I want to share some tips and tricks with you about how you can have amazing success with your puppy so that they can go from an adorable little puppy through to the dream canine companion that you've always wanted. Now, as always, when it comes to raising and training your perfect puppy, I break it down into three main sections: their manners, their obedience, and their socialization. And I want to recap those three areas from the last 7 days of the kinds of things that I've been doing that's allowed me to have the huge amount of success with my mate Reginald here, that is allowing us to turn him into already a wonderful canine companion. So let's dive in and start with obedience. And as you can see, he's already becoming an incredibly obedient dog, and we have got the foundations laid for pretty much most things that I need. He will sit on command. He will go on a place bed in command. He will go into his bed on command. We've started to layer in recall, and we've got him walking by my side in heel. Does that mean that is perfect in all situations? Absolutely not. And that's been a big part of this week's worth of obedience. We are leveling up our kind of duration that we're asking for things like stay in your bed, stay on your place, stay in a sit command, layering up the distance that we can achieve in that heel position. And then we've started to add the lead into the heel position so that next week we can start tackling going out in the wide world with our walking. So again, stick to the basic principles of teaching the basic bits of obedience that you will actually need every single day. And then instead of wasting your time teaching a bunch of tricks that are completely irrelevant, utilize that time, energy, and that desire to eat, that desire to feed, into being able to level up that distance, level up that distraction, and level up the duration of the obedience that's actually important. When you've got those pieces of obedience rock solid, nailed down, perfect in all different situations and scenarios, maybe then start trickling in some more fun things, but not at the jeopardy of making your obedience perfect. And that's been a big focus in the last week for us. Let's move on to socialization. Now for socialization, again, we've been making some wonderful strides. I mentioned this in the last couple of weeks, but I've actually been going through a house renovation, and that has been working wonders. The guys have been up on the roof, the scaffolding's been going up, we've had people coming and going, and that's continued all week this week, which again has continued doing me a massive favour of being able to do a bunch of socialization with him really easily. So that's really nice, but we've not just stayed there. We've been getting him out every single day, and at every opportunity I've had, I've been taking him, parking up. If we've gone to a shop, my wife might go into the shop, I lay my truck bed down, and me and Reggie just sit on my truck bed and we watch all the traffic go by and all the people go by. Absolutely wonderful. Every time I've been going to the gym, Reggie's been coming with me. We've been working on his play stays, but also working on the socialization massively. That's continued to be absolutely wonderful. And we're getting ready next week to start introducing those formal walks, which means he can start coming on the school run with me, which is when our socialization, I think, is going to absolutely go through the roof. And I'm really excited about that. No, in your bed. And as you can see, young puppies are going to make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, it's your job to be able to effectively communicate to them in a way that isn't stressful or aversive, but could just remind them, hey, that's what I've asked of you. You haven't had your BREAK command, and I've asked you to be in there, and I need you to stay in there. And you just saw a very real example of that training kind of unfolding in front of you. All of this stuff is important. Are you going to have a perfect dog at 11 weeks old? Absolutely not. It's my job to slowly but surely increase those distances, durations, and distractions, which then takes me on to manners. Now, his manners are absolutely beautiful. His toilet training, again, has gone wonderfully this week. He's sleeping through the night for 8 to 8.5 hours down here in his big boy crate. We're getting full night sleeps, no problem, no crying, no howling, no barking, no nothing. Absolutely wonderful. He knows where he needs to go to the toilet, so all of that has been absolutely wonderful. We've had no puppy biting in the last week. Superb. And his jumping and stuff is non-existent. The only thing that we have been working on this week is he's very pawry, especially during obedience training. If he's following a law, he can be quite frustrated, and he's pawing at my hand a lot, and that's just something that we're working on slowly. I'm allowing it in some capacities if I feel like me dealing with it will set our obedience session up for a little bit of failure, because I know that that's something I can get out of him really, really easily in the future, but I'm trying to also balance that with avoid it becoming a habit. Again, not a big deal, but being open and honest, that's kind of the only thing that we've been worried about in terms of his manners. Everything is going exactly to plan, and if you don't have a plan when it comes to raising and training your puppy, that is why I created my Perfect Puppy course. There'll be a link to it in the description box below, and it goes through absolutely everything that you need to do for your manners, obedience, and socialization for the entirety of your dog's first year with you. And not just what to do, but detailed modules of why we do it, so that you can level up your leadership skills, your skills as a trainer, and then potentially maybe you could become one of the hundreds of people that have started in the Perfect Puppy course and actually gone on to become full-time dog trainers themselves, because there's so much dense information in there that it becomes an amazing foundation for that journey for people as well. Again, there'll be a link in the description box below if you're interested, but that's exactly what we've been working on for our obedience, our socialization, our manners. We keep on keeping on, we keep on rolling, we keep utilizing our crate to make it a stress-free experience. Next week, we start bringing in the formal walk, so that inside the house with the crate, we have 95% of all our problem behaviors removed and prevented. And with our loose lead walking, 95% of problem behaviors out the house will never occur, like pulling, like reactivity, like barking or lunging towards other people, other dogs, which then allows us to prevent any forms of on-lead aggression. And between those two things, we're 90% of the way there when it comes to raising and training Reginald here to be the perfect canine companion.